WNBA coming into tonight. Stephanie White refers to it as a work in progress, and as a coach, you certainly have to view it that way, but Beaver off to a really good start on that end of the floor. Clark misses on the floater on her first look, ping-pongs around, and will stay here with Indiana.
Caitlin added that to her game last year after the Olympic break, and she had a good look. She got to the nail.
Mitchell and Clark combined for 24 in the first half. Boston still trying to get going here. Oh, with the shot clock down to 5. Nelson Adota steps out. Hull feeds inside. If Boston get it off in time, they'll say it's a shot clock violation.
She's got to cut without the ball because she can drag some help.
Marina Mabry was held to just 4 points in the first half. She is Connecticut's leading scorer at 18 per game. There's Mabry on a backdoor cut.
That's a slant pattern, quarterback to wide receiver, play by Connecticut.
So the Sun have bridged the second and third quarter with a 6-0 run. They've cut Indiana's 12-point lead in half. Hull just falling out of bounds, whips it to Mitchell.
You know, Connecticut was late getting out of the locker room, just a 24 tip. So I'm sure that they're going to come out and play with incredible focus right here.
Mabry now 0 of 5 from the three-point line as Hull spots up and knocks down a 3.
Holy shoot, outside the arc.
That is going up here tonight. She's hit 2 of her 3 shots. Hartley turns the corner, denial at the rim. It's Boston, but it found its way right to Nelson Adota, who cashes in. Now with 8 points, she's starting regularly for the first time in her career.
Oh, good fake.
Extra pass, Mitchell is wide open and splashes home a 3.
That's why Aaliyah Boston is the best passing big in the game right now. What a read.
That was Boston's 5th assist here of the night. She's averaging 4 per game as Charles steps back and can't connect. Has been WNBA in terms of setting up her teammates. Clark behind the back, feed inside. 2 more for Howard. So the Fever answer a 6-0 run, a 6-point run of their own.
It's them numbers on the backside and a wide open look.
Indiana hits their 6th 3 here of the night as Hartley can't answer with a triple of her own. Connecticut now just 1 of 12 from out there. They're trying to get organized here with a shot clock down to 4. Hartley bounce past Charles. Nelson Adota tracks it down and tosses it off of Hartley just gets it in time, finds Charles. Mabry offs inside, Nelson Adota, 1 moment of hesitation.
Yep, exactly. Boston is because she's terrific at making that decision.
Mitchell pulls it back, that's a deep 2. Howard got hands in there, they're gonna get her with the foul, and if so, Fever will take that. It's the 2nd on Hull. Sheldon straight away. Hartley too strong, and the lid stays on. Felt like she was fouled there by Sheldon. Austin takes matters into her own hands, muscles inside, can't finish, gets her own offensive rebound, kick into the corner, and Mitchell can't connect. Hardly dangerous pass had found its way to Mabry, and Charles deep position, but that left-handed hook won't. Just trying to pick up the pace. They are 3rd in the WNBA coming into tonight. Boston, Hull, extra pass. Mitchell can't connect. Howard on the offensive rebound, and Mabry just took it away. Getting some good looks here, just can't cash in on him, and that lead has been stuck at 12 here. And a 3-minute drops. Charles charging hard, too strong. Offensive rebound, put back won't go. There's a whistle. Clark is immediately sprinting to the bench and asking for a challenge. He was called for her second foul.
Stephanie White and her staff to take a look at it.
Going into the reasoning there for Stephanie White to not use the challenge. You've got to be so careful as a coach. There are probably so many plays throughout a game that you think you can win, but is it the most impactful moment? Clark hustling away.
I mean, is that displacement? I think it is.
Oh, and Marina Mabry's going to get ejected. If the officials saw that, Marina Mabry is going to get ejected.
Well, they're going to go and look at it. Look at Mabry. She's got a scar on one side, a scratch on one side of her face, a scratch on the other side. It's not from the game today. I asked her about it. Based on what we experienced in the first half, you know there was an extra shove in the first quarter. So there's clearly that's a foul.
And it's contact to the face as well. It'd be interesting to know if they're going to look at that first one for a flagrant foul. There was an impact, there wasn't wind up or follow through, but there was a direct hit to the eye of Clark, and then just a totally unnecessary body bump by Marina. To anything Marina Mabry did, that was in a completely different class of foul. So Clark is shooting, those are the flagrants. The microphone, we don't have the ability for the official to talk to us. So that was the flagrants, and then I think the difference between the technical.
Right, because there are some cancellation out on
turns it over. Mabry comes up with a steal. She's going to be hit with a chorus of boos.
And this is going to be all over talk radio, everywhere you go tomorrow. This is going to be a point of contention. It's a conversation about the league.
Charles, step back. That shot won't fall. Can regain focus, regain composure here most quickly. After what must have been a 10-minute break. Oh, Holt just splits a double team inside. Howard hanging and finishing.
I assume Indiana's going to boo Mabry for the rest of the game and probably for the rest of her career when she comes in the building.
That's an offensive foul. First 5 points out of that fracas. Clark, Boston.
If you know anything about Marina Mabry, and I know Mabry, this is not going to really affect her that much. Honestly, here she is, and that's who she's been her whole career. She's going to consider all this booing a sign of respect, to be honest with you. And she shouldn't be in the game.
And Howard is fouled. So Boston and Clark will take likely brief rests here as Indiana in all of this. A moving screen called on Dantas.
Consistency. I'm just going to say it because everyone that's won, you just want consistency out of the whistle.
Connecticut's gone 5+ minutes without hitting a shot. Charles trying to change that. Kick into the corner. Lindsay Allen can't connect. That drought continues. Mabry able to force it into the corner. Here is Rivers. Oh, and she gets a shooter's touch.
These on the season are against Indiana.
Cunningham displaced and the foul.
Players that were involved in that play on the court. Very interesting, talking about toughness. Plus, he needs them on the floor to win.
And Dantas just backing in, showing off the strength. Dantas with 4-14. shots. She continues her tough evening, 2 of 9 from the floor, 0. Mitchell cutting hard, in through the defense, everything but the finish. Rivers had it knocked away, good hands by Colston. Mitchell didn't see it. Rivers through Charles' hands, Jalen Brown from mid-range. Mitchell gets inside, Dantis looking for Howard, who had Rivers pinned, and Rivers out trouble. And now a message from Central Midwest Carp. That one rolls in. How about this night for Indiana from the line? Just what the doctor ordered, 12 of 12.
They are last in the league in free throw percentage. It'll come back around.
Here's Charles fading, firing, and hitting.
Just so good. What a beautiful counter.
And Charles now has 20. It's taken her 17 shots to get there, a less efficient night. Mitchell runs into a wall. Wilson with the shot clock down to 10. Lob inside. Dantis catches, and another foul.
Opportunity here. I'm a little surprised Coach Mezion's not putting Mabry back in the game for that opportunity. Stephanie White obviously keeping Caitlin Clark out. Give her another rest before the start of the 4th.
How about this? Both these teams now forced. Rivers pulls up over Howard. Difficult shots. 5 seconds between shot clock and game clock. We're going for that 2-for-1 there. Mitchell stepping back on Rivers, clearing some space and knocking it down.
Rejects the screen and creates enough space off the bounce. That's called dribbling with a purpose.
Final 3 seconds. Peters doesn't see the clock. And Connecticut won't get the shot off. Oh, rebounding and defense, the Fever are plus 10 there. It's a 16-point lead here for Indiana as we start the 4th quarter of play. Beautiful bounce pass inside. That's Rivers to Brown.
When I talked to Kelsey, they've been working on in practice is guarding your yard, doing a better job of containing the ball. I think they have done that for the most part here tonight.
And an offensive foul on Indiana on their first offensive possession. Right now, Rashid Mezion has opened up. Shiftiness and the quickness of Rivers. Sticks with it and lays it in. They'll say she knocked it away. That's why there was no traveling call. Rivers just shows you flashes. Contact, no whistle either direction. Shot clock down to 12. Dantis straight away. Knocks down the 3.
She was due.
Dantis has all 9 of Indiana's points off the bench here tonight. He's done that in 11 minutes. Bingham. Boston, good feet. Indiana's up by 15 here. It just feels like this game has lost all semblance of rhythm.
Yep. And that's the way Connecticut wants it. I mean, they're a team that is last in the league in points per game at 71 points a game. They need a slower pace. Peter's been called for travel a couple of times tonight.
Connecticut Sun here early in the 4th. Mitchell, shifty, Dantis.
Sanaya Rivers has incredible upside as a player in this league. As she hits the mid-range jumper. Been watching that kid for a long time. She's going to be a great pro.
He is really impressive, and the Fever got a full dose of that on May 30th. She had 3 threes, had 12 points. A big part of Connecticut. So with a quiet 17 points tonight, can't add on to it. Just a couple at the rim that she normally knocks down. That left Brown open, and she cashes in for a three.
Yeah, the Fever have lost their rhythm and their mojo. Great timeout by
Cunningham on the drive, gets to the rim.
really nice Tate. Going right with that right hand.
Key bucket here for Indiana. Out of the break, Cunningham getting a hand on that one as well, nearly forcing a turnover.
Good job by Lexi Hull to force her back into the help.
Feed inside. Iabi can't finish underneath.
You want to weak all that ball screen action, which means make them go to their weak hand, their left hand.
Rivers will be called for the foul on Clark. Clark way downtown. Three ball just a little short.
They're going to horns, which is a good way to break pressure.
Rivers steps back, too strong on a three. Clark, oh look at Flash running the floor, just couldn't handle it. Able to get it to Hull, save the possession. Boston is wide open and splashes home a three.
The trail triple from the big.
Second of her season, 13th of her career. Brown feeds inside. Iabi runs into traffic and Boston, but she's hit two of them.
I remember a corner three, I think the first game of the season.
At the top of the broadcast, in order for the Fever to clinch a spot in the Commissioner's Cup Championship, they would not only need a win, but also a Liberty win over the Dream, and it's a close one. Under 4 to go. Ionescu leads all scores, 6-76. Sabrina Ionescu leads all scores with 31 points. Brianna Stewart with 19.
So Indiana with a real shot here at winning the Commissioner's Cup East Conference. And they would take on Minnesota if Minnesota wins. Jaylen Brown, who's had a nice evening, can't add to it there. Mabry's seen a double team and threw it right to Howard. Clark weaving through traffic and gets the roll. Timeout, Connecticut.
These guys are invaluable. They have an incredible responsibility for a lot of the prep, running what the other team runs, and those guys today were outstanding at shoot-around this morning. They were locked in with great focus.
Sheldon off the mark on a three. Connecticut here at an arm's length. Really from halftime on, Connecticut got as close as 6 in the second half. Cunningham is bumped there by Sheldon. Oh, touch pass, Cunningham wide open. Oh, she gets the shooter's touch. Couple times off the rim, a kiss off the backboard. And Sophie Cunningham has her first as Indiana's largest lead. Sheldon looking for Brown, backdoor hangs, leaves that one short and draws the foul. Well, the Fever really on 5 of 7 shooting, now has 13. And after Tina Charles, she has been Connecticut's leading.
News and some bad news for you. The good news is my mom and dad don't miss many games. The bad news is my mate can't be 98 degrees. She just texts me. She never texts me during the game.
All right. Here is Clark splashing home a three from way downtown. And some words with the Connecticut bench on her way back. It's Clark's fourth.
You can get the chills, though. That was chilling.
Moves there by Clark, knocks it into the corner. Nelson Adota has to fire. Off balance, it will.
20-point lead. Caitlin Clark with a few words with J.C. Sheldon and keeping the crowd engaged.
But on the verge of moving back over 500 with a win here tonight. Left in that one. If these two results hold, the Fever will win the East in the Commissioner's Cup. And Cunningham stepped on the side. Rivers feed inside. Nelson Adota, good pass.
You know, Connecticut started out the game feeding Charles and getting Nelson Adota going. Just every night when you've got Tina Charles inside.
Here's Hull working the baseline. Kick back out. Dantas is wide open and connects. A great night here. I have 12 points.
17 threes against New York. 11 threes here tonight.
Nelson Adota off the miss. And the bank shot. Stephanie White will take a timeout. Indiana up by 19.
Rebounds for Howard.
Sheldon knocks it away. Wilson able to rescue. Shot clock down to 1. Really difficult shot there by Dantas.
The valuable part of what Indiana does.
Another really strong defensive effort for her. Marina Mabry just 2 of 9 here tonight. As Nelson Adota spins and finishes. Here for Indiana in the second half. No major Connecticut runs. And Indiana with what's felt like a quiet 87-point night. Dantas shot fakes the 3. Colston will oblige. Allen got knocked to the ground. Cunningham pokes it away. Colston bouncing it to Dantas. Rivers there to meet her. A little sloppy there for Indiana.
Sophie Cunningham.
And Clark did. Colston had it knocked away. Good hands by Allen. And Sheldon comes up with the steal. Sheldon going coast to coast. And here's we got another break is here as J.C. Sheldon goes right after Sophie Cunningham. It was a hard foul, no question.
I'm blaming this all on the officials tonight. It is totally their responsibility. That's a hard foul. That's a flagrant foul. And if they had taken care of the business earlier, we wouldn't be in this situation right now. Well, you can't eject her because you didn't. That's a flagrant foul. It's a hard foul. You could say it's a play on the ball, but